Good morning, everybody. It is Bethany. Nice to see you all this morning. I'm not gonna lie. It's 6:30, and I am really not awake yet. Um, yeah, not enough coffee for this morning. For those of you who have been following along with my posts on my page or in the main romance writers, I had originally said I was going to join Camp NaNoWriMo, but life prevailed. And by that, I mean, I got into it and I realized that there were too many holes in my plot for me to successfully write that book the way that I was trying to write it. I have always been a pantser in the past. And if you don't know what a pantser is someone who just jumps in and writes. Um, but somewhere along the way, my writing style has changed. And I think it happened while I struggled with not being able to write. So, um, for those of you who don't know, I didn't write for about a year. And I couldn't. I couldn't find a way to write. And it was something that had been coming on gradually. It was getting more and more difficult as I was going along. I was struggling harder and harder to be able to let go creatively to write, or at least to write anything that made any sense. And it was a difficult time for me. I'm not gonna lie, and I ended up channeling my creative energy because the creative energy was still there. It just wasn't there for writing, and for some reason, that particular muse had locked herself away. And so what I ended up doing was, like I always do, if I don't have enough creativity going on, I followed a different path and I started doing videos. And I started doing them for my tarot channel and coming up with ways to make this work. Because, like I said, or knitting projects. Knitting projects are a really good example of channeling creativity. So yeah, so the my writing muse had disappeared. Uh, I was really honestly feeling like she wasn't coming back, and didn't have a clue about what to do about it. Um, I felt like I had lost a piece of me by not being able to write because I've been writing since I was a kid, and it's been a long time. Whether it was published or not, I've still had those projects going on. So yeah, so that was really difficult for me, and a lot of it happened right around the time that COVID happened, and I had to come home and work from home. And honestly, I was like, oh yay, I get to work from home. This will be easier. I'll have more time. I won't have to commute like I commute a long distance. Um, and it'll just be easier because on my lunch break I can sit down and write, which I always wanted to be able to do. Didn't work that way. The worry and concern that I had out there, that everybody had out there, was overwhelming, and I really did struggle with it and wasn't quite sure what to do about it. So yeah, so there went the muse for writing, but the creativity came out in other ways. So this year, when we turned the new year, it was like something freed itself. Like my muse had gotten out, and she was like, "Okay, I'm over here. Come on, come back." And so I had to sort of struggle my way back to finding a way, but it was not the same thing. Um, I know enough to know, I mean, I've been doing this for a really long time, where I'm going to get bogged down. And I know exactly what elements a story is going to need in order for it to hit the points. They all have to hit certain points within a story in order to be a good read. And in the past, my expectations had been the thing that had been bogging it down. So news comes back, and I'm like, okay, good, all right, so we'll jump in. And I have been writing. I've been writing more than I have at least in a couple of years. Um, I have two projects that I'm working on right now. One is a novella that follows up to the Only You novella that I did for Main Romance Writers. It was published under Tegan. It's going to be republished under Beth. But yeah, so that's the other thing is I dropped Tegan. Somewhere along the way, I felt like it was time to be able to do that. So I dropped Tegan. I started working under my own name, Beth Oliver, and so that was another piece to the puzzle. The other piece that I'm working on is a paranormal series set in Western Maine, and I've been struggling for the right voice for this. It's not people hear paranormal, they think vampires and shapeshifters, wolfers, and that type of thing. And it's not. It's cryptids, paranormals, ghosts, that type of thing. Legends. That's what I'm working on with the series. So yeah, it all comes down. I joined a writers group because I wanted the motivation to kick my butt in gear and have to produce a certain amount of pages, which I'm working on. And then I decided the night before Camp NaNoWriMo started, April 1st. This was on March 31st, that I was going to jump in and do it. That was a bad choice. So I backed off. When I realized that the plot wasn't as filled as I wanted it to be. I was, like I said, I'm working on this paranormal, trying to find the voice for it. And the pacing was not where I wanted it to be. So Kim NaNoWriMo went by the wayside. Doesn't mean I'm not writing. Doesn't mean I'm not working on it. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to let go of one thing in order to do something else. So that's where we stand with what happened to Camp NaNoWriMo. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know what Camp NaNoWriMo is, that NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it is every November. They hold a challenge where people around the world decide to jump in and write a novel of 50,000 words um, or more. You can do more if you're so inclined. Uh, and you're to complete a work. You have to post daily on what your progress is. You need to. It's more of a personal challenge, but everybody gets involved. Like I said, it's worldwide now. People do it from across the globe. And the Camp NaNoWriMo, I think that you can set whatever goal you want, and it happens every April and July, maybe. So they call it sort of the shortened version of that. And it does go for a month. You can set your own goal for however many words you want to write, but you're working towards that goal. So yeah, so that's what happened to Camp NaNoWriMo. So, where do I go from here? Well, I'm still writing, still working on these two series that I want to get out. Definitely have been my notes. I won't show you them exactly, but notes and notes and notes and notes of working on the pacing that I've been doing and really going in depth with it and trying to pull out all the things that I've learned over the years to hopefully. If you can hear that, I'm sure you probably can. That noise is my son's cat. He has a toy that he chases around the house, and he does it at all hours of the night, and it makes that noise. And then he'll take it he'll take it to the back to the cellar stairs and drop it down the stairs, bring it back up, drop it down the stairs, bring it back up, or he'll put it in the bathtub, which is on the other side of our bedroom, and chase it around inside the bathtub. So that's the noise I get to listen to all night. Yesterday I woke up and he had destroyed a bag of bird seed that was my husband. My husband has a thing about feeding birds. It was a sealed, compacted bag of bird seed, like they had sucked all the air out of it. The cat had shredded it. It was all over the kitchen floor. I go staggering out in the morning, put my foot down. I'm like, well, it's a little too crunchy to be cat throw up. Yeah, no, it was birdseed. And so then I had to struggle with finding a way to pick up all that birdseed. So that's how yesterday started. So here's off to a better day today. I wish you all the best. We are heading for another weekend, and in Maine here, our temps are coming up. Very good. My RV is in the shop right now being updated, and they had to replace the faucet in it, so better them than me. so, so they're replacing the faucet in it and getting it opened up for the season so I can go camping. And of course, take my books and my computer with me. So I hope you all are doing well. I wish you the best, and bye for now.